Welcome to Bleed Electrical. I'm Triveli Naidu back again with another video on electrical drives. In the previous video, we had seen the comparison in between AC and DC drives. And now in this video, we shall be discussing about the characteristics of DC motor. Why? Because motors are really important as far as drives are concerned. We have already seen while studying the block diagram. Now let's get started. First, see the classification of the DC motors. Any DC machine, be it a DC motor or a DC generator, it is split up into two categories. One is the electromagnet, another is a permanent magnet. An electromagnetic DC machine can be further categorized as a separately excited DC machine or a self-excited DC machine. Further, the self-excited DC machine can be categorized as the series wound, the shunt wound, and the compound wound. That means if I am considering DC motors, then DC motor would be electromagnetic DC motor and permanent magnet DC motor. Further, it could be separately excited DC motor and self-excited DC motor. Then further, if I categorize it in terms of self-excited this thing, then you have series wound DC motors, shunt wound DC motor and compound wound DC motor. We all know the difference in between all these things. Now, if I consider the compound wound DC motor, it is further categorized as the long shunt and the short shunt DC motors, wherein the series wound has armature and the field winding in series with each other, and in shunt winding, the shunt wound motors has the armature and field connected in parallel to each other. If I consider the compound, it is the combination of series and parallel connection. So it is known as a compound wound motor. So now let's proceed. This is not the thing that we are going to concentrate upon in this video. It's just for a general information. It is expected that you already know about the classification and the working principle and construction of DC motors, because here we are going to deal with the characteristics of DC motors. So let's get started. Now, characteristics of DC motor. Before coming to the characteristics, let me explain you this particular diagram. Herein, this is a DC shunt motor. I'm talking about DC shunt motor. In shunt motor, you have the armature and field connected in parallel to each other. So once you give the supply to this DC shunt motor, what happens? The field will get energized, and because of this, the armature will start rotating following Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. This is how it takes place. Okay, now considering the formula for this particular circuit diagram, we can write that torque is equal to 0.159 Zp phi A upon A, where you know that Z is what? The number of conductors. Then P is the number of poles. Phi is flux per pole, and I is armature current, and A is the number of parallel path. We have already studied all these things in the first year. Then again you find EB, that is the back EMF. What is the formula for EB? P phi Zn upon 60A. Again we have seen the derivation for this. My intention is to tell you about the characteristics. So if you do not know about this, kindly revise it. Okay, now EB is equal to P phi Zn upon 60A. And again, if I write it using the KVL, I can write it as EB is equal to V minus IARA. Now, how do we get this formula? This is what I can explain over here. See, if I consider this particular loop and apply KVL in this particular loop, what will happen? The summation of voltage rises will be equal to the summation of voltage drops. Now, what about the resistances involved in this particular loop? Here you have this Ra as your internal resistance of the armature circuit. Also you have RSH as the internal resistance of the field circuit. But I am applying KVL only to this particular loop. So this resistance doesn't get involved. So if I consider the drop, what would be the drop across this circuit? The drop would be IA into RA. So this particular drop you will find in the circuit. Nothing else. Correct? And again you are having this back EMF also. So what about this back EMF? Then what the formula will become? V is equal to EB plus IARA. So summation of voltage rises will be equal to summation of voltage drops. So EB plus IARA. So this would be the formula that you get from the circuit diagram, correct? But if I rearrange this formula, what will happen on rearranging this formula? Then if I say, let me isolate this EB becomes V minus, I'm taking this side, then it will become V minus IARA. So this is the formula that I get for a DC shunt motor. Now, very important thing in a DC shunt motor, here the phi is constant, okay, the flux is constant, the field is constant in a DC shunt motor. Why? Because it is a shunt motor. So let me see the voltage across these 2 points. The voltage across this 2 points will be again V. And what about these 2 points? The voltage across this and this point would be again V, correct? So this will also be, the voltage will also be V, correct? That means the voltage in the parallel circuits are equal. Here the voltage is not going to change. And also we can say that the field winding is proportional. Whatever flux produced by the field winding is proportional to the field current. That is what the flux is directly proportional to ISH. Okay, and if the voltage is constant, then the flux and the current is also constant. Therefore, what we say, DC shunt motor is a constant flux or constant speed motor. It is a constant flux or a constant speed motor. Okay, so we know that DC shunt motor is a constant speed motor. So let us now quickly revise what are the characteristics of DC shunt motor. Now coming to the characteristics of DC shunt motor, here you find I am having the characteristics, the formula and the description of this particular characteristics. Okay, now if I'm taking torque with respect to the armature current, let me see what relation do I have. Now I know that torque is 0.159 P phi Zn upon P phi Z Ia upon A. This is what we know. Okay. Now if I see this formula, then torque is directly proportional to phi into Ia, I can say. If I take only this term. Now here I know that phi is constant. Now if phi is constant, what will I write it? If it is constant, I can neglect this. Then I can say that torque is directly proportional to Ia. Anything being directly proportional, what characteristics do you get? If something is proportional, directly proportional to something, you get a straight line passing through origin. So this is the characteristics you get. It is a straight line passing through the origin. So this is a straight line passing through the origin. So here you find torque is directly proportional to Ia. That means what? If you're plotting a characteristics of DC shunt motor and you're plotting armature torque with respect to armature current, you get a straight line passing through origin. So this is the torque here is proportional to the armature current and the characteristics is a straight line. Now coming to another characteristics. Okay, coming to another characteristics where we are placing N with respect to Ia, that is the speed with respect to the armature current. Let us again manipulate these formulas. Now again you know that if I take this particular formula, then EB is directly proportional to phi into N, I can say. Okay, let me take this. But I say that this phi is a constant. Again, let us rearrange this formula. First of all, let us rearrange this formula. Then N becomes equal to, N is directly proportional to EB upon phi. But I say this phi is a constant. That means what? N is directly proportional to EB. If N is directly proportional to EB, but I know the formula for EB also. What is the formula for EB? V minus IARA. So instead of EB, what I can write is V minus IARA. So N will become directly proportional to what? V minus IARA. Now, what am I interested in? I'm interested in the speed and the armature current. So let me find the armature current first. This is the armature current. Now I'm subtracting a term from the voltage. That means the resultant would be reduced. Correct? If I reduce the value of Ia, then obviously the entire term will be reduced slightly, not directly proportional, but it will be reduced slightly. That means if I'm controlling the armature current, if I'm reducing the armature current, then it will reduce the value of speed also, but slightly. So this is the characteristics that you get. Now here if I plot speed with respect to the armature current and I reduce armature current, you get a dropping characteristics, slightly dropping characteristics you get. Okay, so almost for all practical purposes, we say that the shunt motor, the DC shunt motor is a constant speed motor. That means the speed cannot be varied in a wide range. Okay, you can vary it, but slightly, not too much, for all practical purposes. So wherever the applications where the speed variations are not involved, you can go for a DC shunt motor. Okay, now coming to the next characteristics. Now I want to plot the speed with respect to the armature torque. Now let us see about the speed and the armature torque. Here we know that torque is directly proportional to Ia. Here we have already concluded, we are taking this. Okay, torque is directly proportional to Ia. But what about the speed? I want to relate the torque and the speed, correct? Now we also know that N is directly proportional to V minus IRA. From here this conclusion we take. Okay, now if torque is directly proportional to Ia, and N is directly proportional to V minus IARA, what can be done? So what would be the relationship in between torque and armature current? Okay, now obviously if Ia is slightly reducing, then torque will also reduce, and if torque reduces, the speed will also slightly reduce. The same characteristics will follow as the characteristics in between the speed and armature current, so it is slightly reducing in nature. Okay, now another important thing that has to be noted in this particular characteristics is that the torque with respect to armature current and speed with respect to armature current is known as the electrical characteristics. That means this is electrical characteristics, this is also electrical characteristics. Okay, and what is this? This is mechanical characteristics where you consider speed with respect to the armature torque. Okay, just pay attention. If you are asked in the question that you please draw the characteristics, the electrical characteristics, you have to plot these two graphs and explain the characteristics. And if mechanical characteristics is asked, you have to explain the characteristics in between the speed and the armature torque. So this is how it works. Okay, so this is about the DC shunt motor, the characteristics of DC shunt motor. Now let us quickly see the DC series motor. I hope you understood this. If you did not understand, you can comment it in the comment box. Now characteristics of DC motors. In this, let us now take DC series motor. Okay, now this is the circuit diagram. We all know that if a voltage is applied across the circuit, what will happen? Here you have this field getting excited, this armature rotating, correct? Now let us talk about the resistances. Now this internal resistance RSC is the internal resistance of the field. Now this is a series circuit, right? And then here you have the internal resistance of the armature circuit. So if I talk about the drop, then that means the current is obviously IA. The current is going to be the same current. Okay, so current whatever is flowing will be I is equal to ISC is equal to IA. Correct? We can say that because it is a series circuit. Now here the drop could be written as IA RSE. Okay, and the drop over here can be written as IA RA. Correct. What is the difference in between the series and the shunt circuit? There, this component was missing, but here you find this component is an additional component. So if I want to write the formula, I can write it like this. So the formula will now change. Previously, you were having V minus IA and RA, but now there is addition to this resistance, that is RSC. Okay, because the formula has now reduced to the summation of voltage rise. Rise is V, and the drops. Let us write all the drops. The first drop would be your back EMF. Okay, then another this thing you can write is IA RA. So this is another this thing, another drop you can write. Then another drop you have is IA RSC, correct? So this is another drop that you have. Now if I see this, you find I can take out IA common from the formula. So here what it is done. Okay, IA is taken out to be common and RA plus RSC remains. And here you find IA is equal to ISC is equal to I. That means if the current I is flowing over here, this is further going to be circulated over here, that is this is ISC if I say, because it is going through the RSC. And if I talk about this current, I can call it as IA current. So all these three currents are the same. Okay, so I can say that I is equal to ISC is equal to IA. So this is the conclusion from the circuit diagram. But can I say here the field or the flux is the same? No. Here the flux varies. The field flux changes as the load changes, as the load varies. So you cannot keep it constant. So this is the most important information that you have, that the DC series motor are variable speed motors, unlike the DC shunt motor. The DC shunt motor were constant speed motor, whereas the DC series motors are variable speed motors. So now let us check out its characteristics. Now, talking about the characteristics of DC series motor, again, I'm using the same set of formulas, okay? You don't have to 10 times recall all the formulas. The formulas remain the same. So here, the only difference being the torque is directly proportional to phi into Ia. So here, phi cannot be treated as constant, but the phi, that is the flux, it is being a series circuit, is directly proportional to flux. Okay, so you say that phi is directly proportional to Ia, and if it is that phi is directly proportional to Ia, I can replace. That means the torque will be now directly proportional to what? Torque will be now written as directly proportional to phi, can be written as Ia, and this Ia was previously written over here. That means the formula should reduce to torque directly proportional to Ia square. Okay, but it is said that initially the torque and current, the armature current, are directly proportional to each other, and later part of it, after the saturation, the phi becomes, after the saturation, it becomes directly proportional. Okay, so here initially what you find, this type of characteristics you find. Okay, and after saturation you find torque becoming directly proportional to Ia. So this characteristics will be a bit combination of two characteristics. So previously you will have a characteristics, this is the parabolic characteristics, as you know, torque directly proportional to Ia square. And after saturation what would become? Now after saturation, the similar characteristics will become to directly proportional characteristics, that is the straight line. Okay, so this is how you get the characteristics. So initially the torque and the what you call armature current characteristics is directly proportional to Ia square. So this is the characteristics you get, and here the torque becomes directly proportional to Ia after saturation. So these are the two multiple characteristics you get when you study the torque with respect to armature current. So this is the characteristics you get. Now coming to another characteristics, that is the another electrical characteristics, let us talk about the speed and armature current characteristics. Now in speed and armature current characteristics you have, the again we'll use the same formula, same interpretation. EB is directly proportional to phi n, and n can be written as EB upon phi. Now we know that EB is V minus Ia plus RSC, correct? And almost constant, which is almost constant. So we can say that if I consider this term to be constant, this term to be constant, then I can say that n is inversely proportional to phi. Okay, if I say that n is inversely proportional to phi, that means I say n is inversely proportional to Ia. If anything that is inversely proportional to each other, what characteristics do you get? You get a rectangular hyperbola. So this is the characteristics that you get. So N is here inversely proportional to the armature current. And lastly, the mechanical characteristics of DC motor. Here you have torque being directly proportional to phi into Ia, but phi is again directly proportional to Ia, and torque is directly proportional to Ia square. Okay, here you say the speed is directly proportional to 1 upon Ia. So torque and the speed will have a characteristics. So we can say N is directly proportional to, here what you find, I want to replace this Ia. So I can say that 1 divided by under root of T, you can say. Correct, because I only want Ia. So Ia will be root of Ta. Correct. So 1 upon root of Ta. So that is also an inverse characteristic. So you find this is the rectangular hyperbola that you get. So this is the characteristics you get. Okay. Higher the speed, the lower the torque you get. Okay. So this is the mechanical characteristics. Now, very important thing to note about DC series motor is that they are variable speed motors, and in case of DC shunt motor, that they are the constant speed motors. So that's all for this video. In upcoming video, we'll be talking about the speed control of DC shunt motor. Thank you. Keep watching.